Tell me, where are we today?
In the studio of ZET, Close Encounter Theatre. It's an English-speaking theatre for amateurs and for professional, and it's a beautiful place. This whole floor is full of studios. I've studied here at the ZET in the art university, and I haven't noticed this building for 3 years.
What job did you dream of having when you were a kid?
I was a very creepy child. I always knew exactly how my life's gonna look like. Since I was 4, I said I will be a dancer and a dance teacher. That was my purpose, to do them both. To dance, perform, and teach. I love teaching. I love meeting people and create.
What is your job title today?
It's hard to put myself in a box. I can say I'm a dance and drama teacher. I can say that I'm a choreographer. I'm a director. I am creating. I feel like that every day when I come to the studio, I'm wearing a different hat. But it's all about creation. It's all about discovering.
If you were to explain your job to a 5-year-old, how would you explain your job?
I wonder, how did I ever explain that to my kids? They actually grew up on stage, crawling on my set. So I explain that I meet people and we do things together to make them be the best of themselves. I think that's also kind of my motto as a teacher, really to not compare yourself. I always speak about it in the first class. I don't want anyone to look for a model that it's not them, like they don't try to wear my movement on their body, but really to kind of explore this body and boundaries and the range. Enjoy, like having fun.
If that's how you explained your job to me when I was 5 years old, I'd say that sounds amazing.
My older child, I directed my first piece in Switzerland with her in my belly. And I did the light. I was the technician on my own theater piece with her, hoping that she will not pop out. It was my first piece. It was quite successful. We were touring with this in Switzerland and Austria and Germany. And she was from the belly creating it into crawling on the sets in different cities. I feel like they're really a big part of my creation. They always give me opinion. I did a very feminist choreography that was very, very strong. And one of my daughters said, it's very aggressive. And then I explained, why is it aggressive? And then we opened a conversation about feminism with a 6 years old. So it's fun. I use their eyes. They're great. I think kids are very direct and open. They're very connected to their instinct, right? They didn't develop all these filters of society yet. I'm very curious to hear what they have to say. And also when they watch stuff that maybe are less appropriate for kids, I had some funny moments. My 4 years old, she was 3 when we did cabaret. They were sitting here in the studio while we were working on the Kit Kat Club, which is like very nasty movement, and the guy was like panking girls in their asses. And my 3 years old was watching, of course. And then in the morning after, I was brushing my teeth and she came and she slapped my ass and she said, like in mommy's work. And I thought, oh my God, what happened if she go to Kita and say that? They're kids, and I think what we have to learn from them is sometimes not to take things so serious.
And I think it allows them to live a very creative life already as kids, and that's what kids should do. So let's dial the clock back a little bit.
Yeah.
You're not from Switzerland originally, you're from...
I'm from Israel.
Tell me, how did you end up here today?
I always dreamt big. I grew up in a very small town. Immediately after military, I moved to Tel Aviv, and when I was there, then I realized, I wonder how it is abroad. I wanted to study abroad. I wanted to get more perspective, also about the culture and where we grew up. I thought Israel is conservative. For example, nudity on stage, it's something that when I grew up is a lot about hiding the body, and I just needed another perspective. I thought about Berlin. I was on my way to Berlin, and I stopped to meet a friend in Zurich, and look what happened. I think I was 26, 27, I moved here. I used the word conservative, and then Switzerland, quite conservative and quite behind compared to Israel, the dance scene that exists in Israel. But at the same time, there's so much opportunities and so much respect and so much space for art. And I realized that I can really grow here. I can really create my own place. I started with studying German. I did my master at the Hackabay. I come from a very different mentality, different weather. Zurich was very business. Everyone with like big watches, big cars, completely different than me. I felt like a gypsy.
What did you study exactly?
It's funny. I think they're changing the title all the time. It's like theater, science, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I can tell you that the courses were so different. We could do like acting in front of camera, but project management and clown and build your own solo. We got to work with different artists from all over the the world. I got to choose a mentor, whoever I want, and create my own piece that became my first piece that I directed here in Switzerland. I think what I was looking in that studying, beside the fact that to understand what there is out there, is to connect. It's to find my people, which in the beginning I felt I didn't know how to do it. And I did. So some people that started with me until today, we work together. I also experienced how different I am. I also realized that I am unique. I think I understood my voice, and I understood that my voice is really important to be heard in this country because I'm different. And people should experience different things.
How did you end up in this studio as a director?
When I had my second daughter, I realized that I spent a lot of time away. I wanted to be around people that inspired me. And I realized that I found myself in a corner where I was not inspired, and I want to be close. So I was looking for something because I was always traveling, performing and working with artists from different cities. And I wanted something local here, and it was really by coincidence that a friend forwarded an email that she got about this company. And there was like a tiny line at the end of this email, "We are looking for someone." And I said, I'm your person. And then I met the director of this company, Tara Brodin. She's an amazing person. And it just clicked. It's like you invite something to happen.
Right.
You first create it in your mind. It's kind of like to inspire myself towards something. This is exactly what I wanted. And when I started working with Tara and her beautiful team, I found those people that, you give energy and you get this energy back and they charge you. You never feel empty. I laugh so much. We cry, we do everything. We are really a family. And I have to say that also amazing feeling is that it's a big female team. I love it. That women can push each other forward. It's really a joy.
What are your top 5 or top 6 productions?
We're doing a lot of musicals, Broadway musicals that are written. We're doing lots of original pieces that have been written by different writers. We have Frankenstein, that is kind of like the side story of the real story of Frankenstein. And we have 7 scenes that both of them are youth theater. We have drama and comedy. I love comedy.
What is the name of the one that's coming up just now?
A Little Shop of Horror. It's a dark comedy. It's a fantastic music with live band, with amazing, talented people, stage, set, design, lights, everything. And I think it's going to be amazing.
What do you love about your job?
Everything.
What's the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge is to find myself relevant all the time. It's something I've learned about myself from a conversation with one of my students, actually. I got a feedback from him that he feels that I loved him the most. And I was laughing because I didn't feel like this. I feel like I have a very strong connection to him. I still felt really happy that he felt that. And I try to understand why. Because, as an artist, I'm a very emotional person. And of course, I have to learn to put my boundaries. I really thought, why do I have the need to feel close to someone, even if it's just a 1 class a week, And then I realized that the reason is that I want to be relevant. People that coming to this studio are coming for a whole different reasons. Some people come here to meet other people, just to socialize. Some coming here to come out of their comfort zone. Some people really want to give their inner child that had this little dream and they never went for it because it's not a practical job, to give this little kid like this boost of accomplishment. And it's really hard because I feel like I'm here for them. I'm not serving dance. I'm serving those people. They have different needs, and the more I know them, more I understand where I need to take them, right? Some people need more technique. Some people just need to be seen. It's so fantastic. And I realize it's about being relevant to each of these students.
How much can one earn on average doing this job?
Oh my God. Don't ask me. It's so different. I don't know how to say it. Every job is, sometimes it's being paid by an hour, sometimes by day, sometimes by numbers, by project. It's really, really hard. The amount of hours that you work that are not official, that you're not being paid, it's a lot, right? You can work on a 1-minute choreography for days and nothing comes. And sometimes I can do a big piece in like 10 minutes because it just dropped. It just comes.
For a young person who might see this video thinking I'd like to go in that direction, the finances shouldn't hold them back.
It can be a struggle. It can be. I don't think that's the hardest thing about it, but I think it's one thing to be creative in the job, but you have to be also creative with creating the job, and you have to be ready to work really hard to find those places. Of course, if you manage to find a place like this company, of course I have more safety. This is also something that I needed. It is part of the job.
What do you think is the biggest challenge the workforce in your industry faces today?
It's again about being relevant. We cannot do new things on stage anymore. Everything has been done. And the question, how do we do it different? What is the new things that we are saying? This is the challenge, I think. And I think it was the same challenge 100 years ago.
What part of your job costs you the most energy?
Planning. There's a lot of communication that needs to happen. Creating a production involves a lot of people behind the scene. It's the theater people, it's the marketing. Of course, you have the set designer, timing of changing clothes, a music director, of course the director, light. There's a lot of communication just to understand those things before you even start to create.
What does your business or your industry get right, and what could be better?
Budget is an issue. Switzerland has the money to definitely support art, but it's normally that the big institutes are the one who gets most of it, the opera, the big theaters, which is great and it's important. But at the same time, we talked about finding a voice and talking about how we develop, we change with time, and it's there. It's in the fringe theater. It's in these small groups of people that wanting to bring out their voices. That's a struggle. I feel like this company, beside all the students and all the magic, we really give jobs opportunities to many. That's the beauty of this, to meet people from different art and create something together, to use people's knowledge. And we do that from all the art forms.
What is your life advice for the next generation?
Live. That's the name of my daughter, by the way.